Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Honghuang. Rebirth of the authentic, Houtu is my spokesperson. Through the wilderness, the edge of the forest path becomes the spirit of the earth's veins in the boundless mountains. According to the original trend of chaos, the consciousness of underground will be born on Mount Buzhou. However, due to the self-destruction of the western land by Luo Gui, the spiritual meridian was damaged, causing the tunnel to be heavily damaged and fall into a deep sleep, and its birth time will be even later. In the future, in the Lich Demon Tribulation, Gonggong will knock down Buzhou Mountain, and the tunnel will be completely destroyed. Now that Lin Daoyuan has arrived, he has replaced the original spirit of the underworld and reincarnated into the earth's spiritual vein of Buzhou Mountain. After understanding the calculation of the heavenly way, he began to resist with all his might. Firstly, Lin Daoyuan created the method of earth cultivation, which belongs exclusively to his lineage. The earth cultivator, in the purple mansion, comprehends the spirit of the earth lineage. Further refine the authentic talismans, gather the energy of the earth, the power of mountains, rivers, and the four seas, grasp the power of the earth, and ensure that the earth is not destroyed or destroyed. Next, he made Houtu his spokesperson, giving lectures, conveying authentic ideas, enlightening spiritual acupoints, repairing spiritual meridians, and upgrading the dojo. After billions of years, as countless earthly practices merge with the earth, the consciousness of the underworld has already ascended above the nine heavens. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 001. Rebirth in the Wilderness. I am Zhoushan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The world of the wilderness. In this vast world, there stands a towering mountain, towering like a giant, emitting an indomitable will. Halfway up the mountainside, there is a hazy haze of mist and ammonia, and an endless fairy light permeates. The size of this mountain is no less than that of a solar system, and even millions of times larger. Above the sky, a brilliant purple-golden light pierced through time and space, breaking through all things and merging into the towering and boundless mountains. After Lin Daoyuan woke up, he rubbed his eyes with his hands as usual. Ha! Where's my hand? Why is it missing? Suddenly, Lin Daoyuan was surprised to find that his hands and feet were missing. He couldn't help but look outside and found that the person was no longer at home. But instead, they arrived at a vast world, and what caught their eyes were all kinds of chaotic mist, and auspicious things. I saw a fierce beast towering millions of feet, emitting a series of terrifying roars. The infinite evil energy and spiritual energy intersected, forming a mysterious and vast world. But for these ferocious beasts that used to feel like giants, Lin Daoyuan suddenly felt a sense of their weakness. That's right, in his perception, it seems that these fierce birds and beasts are no different from ants. What's going on? Why did I have such a strange idea? Lin Daoyuan quickly shook his head, and then a majestic memory emerged from the sea of consciousness. Lin Daoyuan finally understood why he felt these million zhang-sized ferocious beasts were so insignificant. It turns out that he is no longer human at this time. Through memory, Lin Daoyuan understood his current identity. He had traveled to a world of chaos and had become the spirit of the earth's veins in Buzhou Mountain. No wonder he felt that those fierce beasts were so small. No matter how large they were, they probably couldn't compare to 1,000th of Mount Buzhou. After all, as a pillar supporting the sky and standing firm, Mount Buzhou is incomparable to ordinary monsters. Ha! After a while, becoming the veins of Mount Buzhou means that it's about to be destroyed. In an instant, Lin Daoyuan's scalp tingled, and he was familiar with various flood and wilderness novels, fully understanding the fate of Zhoushan. First, it was broken by the Zhuo Gonggong, and then half of its body was taken away by the Yuancher heavenly sovereign, and it was refined into a magical treasure called the Heaven-Turning Seal. His fate can be said to be very bad. If it cannot be changed, he may die and disappear. It's been a long time since I finally crossed over, and if I just die in such a gloomy state, it's hard for anyone to accept. But as the spirit of the earth's veins of the Buzhou Mountain, the edge of the forest path is almost rooted and difficult to move, even transforming into form is a very difficult thing. It seems that at this moment, he can only wait to die, waiting for his colleagues to come and hit him, with no other choice. No, there will definitely be a way. Lin Daoyuan couldn't help but comfort himself in his heart, waiting for death. It was not his personality, even if there was only a glimmer of hope, he wanted to give it a try. First of all, he needs to determine the time and see how long it will take to prepare well for the future crisis, even if it is still a bumpy mountain before the joint work. And it seems to be to verify Lin Daoyuan's idea. Suddenly, a faint purple hue appeared in the originally cloudless sky. Accompanied by the surging of thousands of golden lotus flowers, the sound of immortals permeates the avenue, and the immortal Lin dances, creating a scene of heaven and earth's congratulations. The entire desolate world, no matter where it is, will be attracted by this vast illusion. Even if you close your eyes, this vision will flood into the hearts of all beings, as if saying that you have to see if you don't, afraid that others won't know. Today, Hongjun is in charge of the creation and transformation of the jade plate, proving the path of Honghuang and reflecting on the suffering of the common people. Anyone who is destined can go to the Chaos Purple Sky Palace to listen to my path. As soon as the words fell, a majestic pressure from heaven and earth descended upon him. Even the Luo Jinxian had to bow down and kneel under this force. And Lin Daoyuan also felt it. After hearing Hongjun's testimony, he immediately understood what time period it was now. Hongjun has just proven that the Lich Demon realm is about to begin, and there is not much time left for him. As for the sage's majesty emanating from the other party, it is really not enough to be seen in front of Lin Daoyuan. As the spirit of the earth's veins of Mount Buzhou, it upholds the indomitable will of the great god Pangu. Not to mention him, even the heavenly way cannot make him submit. Moreover, Lin Daoyuan is by no means a weak person. After all, he is the controller of the Buzhou Mountains. As a spiritual vein of the earth, he possesses unparalleled power that even the great Luo Golden Immortal can resist. According to the inheritance memory, there is generally no spiritual intelligence in the earth's spiritual veins, but it is a living creature that has traveled through time, equivalent to the only spirit of the earth's veins. Boom boom. As soon as Hongjun's words fell, countless rainbow lights rose in the sky, rushing towards the outer sky. The sage preaches, this is an opportunity that cannot be missed. If one can understand one or two, at least 1 million years of hard work can be saved. For the cultivators in the wilderness, this still has great appeal. On this day alone, Lin Daoyuan sensed that tens of thousands of the Luo Jin immortals were passing by Buzhou Mountain and flying to the chaotic world, searching for Hongjun's dojo, Zixiao Palace. Hongjun said that although there are only 3,000 people from the mortal world, it does not mean that there are only 3,000 people from the great Luo Golden Immortal in the wasteland world. Many of them, the Luo, lost their direction in the chaos or returned to the Purple Sky Palace without success. After all, Hongjun has already said that anyone who is destined can come, but if they are not destined, they will definitely not be able to find them. Lin Daoyuan was very clear in his heart that after Hongjun spoke, witches would rise, and the war between them would last for tens of thousands of years at most, leaving little time for his own development. Moreover, Mount Buzhou has collapsed, and if it weren't for other external influences, he wouldn't believe anything he said. But now Lin Daoyuan still needs to solve his own problems first, thinking about the rest is useless. Lin Daoyuan transformed into the spirit of the earth's veins in Buzhou Mountain, and this sudden force made it difficult for him to adapt. After all, in my past life, I was just an ordinary person. Now, I have suddenly become the spirit of the earth's veins in Buzhou Mountain, directly controlling the hundreds of millions of miles of Buzhou Mountain. It's like a child waving a huge hammer, unable to unleash its rightful power. What Lin Daoyuan needs to do now is to master his own strength 100% and be able to perfectly unleash the maximum power of Mount Buzhou. Lin Daoyuan's mind moved, and he let go of his mind. He began to feel the various regional veins inside Buzhou Mountain, and what caught his eye was Chapter 002. Mastering the Earth Veins, the Dark Yellow Qi. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In Lin Daoyuan's perception, there are countless veins in Buzhou Mountain that resemble ancient dragons, intertwined and coiled together. In the veins of the earth, the qi of the earth symbolizes the great pulse of the earth, with a dark yellow color flowing through the veins, emitting a divine light of dark yellow. The inexhaustible dark yellow energy of the earth's veins surges incessantly, emitting breathtaking waves. The earth's veins are continuous, with intricate branches interwoven together, forming a huge network of earth's veins that carry the surrounding mountains. If someone can pass through Mount Buzhou and overlook the earth's veins, they can discover that these veins have vaguely outlined a giant figure that transcends heaven and earth. Sensing the magnificent terrain and the boundless power within, Lin Daoyuan couldn't help but feel emotional. After just taking a nap, I transformed from a weak mortal to the great existence of Mount Buzhou and gained such strength. It gives him a sense of unreality. After calming his mind, Lin Daoyuan began to try to mobilize the power of the local veins based on the inherited memories in his mind. I saw a faint radiance suddenly emanating from his spiritual body of the earth veins, and strands of thoughts emanated from the core, entwined on the earth veins. What he didn't expect was that these thoughts were shattered by the surging dark yellow energy in the earth's veins at the moment they touched them. Although Lin Daoyuan didn't have a head now, he still felt a severe headache. It took him a while to recover. With his first lesson, Lin Daoyuan gained a general understanding of his current level of mental intensity. With my current level of mental intensity, I don't need to think about those main veins at all. It's better to start with small branches. With accumulated knowledge, one can master the power of the earth's veins in Buzhou Mountain in one fell swoop. After having a plan in mind, Lin Daoyuan began to observe these veins. Looking along the main vein, there are densely packed branches clinging to it, and there are also branches above the branches. After searching for a long time, Lin Daoyuan finally found a small snake-like vein. Although the dark yellow energy contained in this small earth vein can be ignored compared to those main veins, it is the most suitable one for him to master at this time. Once again, his thoughts entwined around it, and as expected, after experiencing a faint vibration, his thoughts smoothly integrated into it, leaving a mark in it. Lin Daoyuan's mind moved, and the dark yellow energy in this small earth vein overflowed and dispersed, gathering in front of him. As his mind changed, the mysterious yellow aura also changed, and a sense of closeness came from above this small earth vein. After playing with the Honghuang qi for a while, Lin Daoyuan began to search for the next suitable vein. With the experience of controlling the first small vein, mastering the second small vein is already a familiar task. And Lin Daoyuan also found that after mastering two small branches, his mind had grown a little stronger. Moreover, the main vein connected by these two branches also faintly felt a sense of closeness towards the edge of the forest path. As expected, my accumulated ideas are correct. In this way, it's only a matter of time before I can control the entire terrain of Mount Buzhou. Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan became more and more motivated. After identifying a main vein and refining its branches from small to large parts, a sense of familiarity and closeness was transmitted from the main vein. Lin Daoyuan was overjoyed and fused his own thoughts with the already mastered Honghuang qi, probing into the main meridian. With the support of the Honghuang qi and the growth of his mind, Lin Daoyuan's attempt to master the main meridian did not encounter any obstacles, and he successfully took the first main meridian, leaving his own mark in it. At this moment, a majestic and extreme dark yellow energy from the main meridian surged towards the spiritual body of Lin Daoyuan, who was the spirit of the earth meridian. Seeing this, he quickly calmed down and held his mind tightly, holding Yuan Shi in his arms. He placed himself in a sitting position, and a strange feeling came to his mind. If you want to describe this feeling, it's like a vegetative person who has been paralyzed for many years, suddenly recovering and trying to control their own body. Suppressing the distractions in his mind, Lin Daoyuan immersed himself completely in receiving the dark yellow energy. I saw a majestic aura of Xian Huang infused into his body, and a profound and boundless Dao rhyme spread out. The heavy Xian Huang light shone in the surrounding mountains. The Xian Huang qi was rushing and surging within Lin Daoyuan's body, constantly strengthening his spiritual body, causing his thoughts, which should now be called the power of divine thoughts, to undergo tremendous growth. Not only that, the spiritual essence condenses and manifests, and the power of the spiritual essence is so strong that it naturally condenses and opens up the sea of consciousness. Moreover, his primordial spirit is based on Mount Buzhou, and unless it breaks and collapses, his primordial spirit will never be destroyed. Is this the power of the primordial spirit? What a wonderful feeling! After having the primordial spirit, Lin Daoyuan could not only see the surging dark yellow energy in these veins, but also the underground laws contained within them. The most delightful thing is that he doesn't have to first comprehend the rules like an ordinary cultivator in order to master them. As the spirit of the earth veins of Mount Buzhou, he only needs to master all these veins and naturally gain insights into the principles of the underworld. Alright, we have already taken one main vein. Let's keep working hard and strive to collect all the main veins as soon as possible, so that we can master the ancestral lineage of Zhoushan in one fell swoop. After the birth of the primordial spirit, it became very easy for Lin Daoyuan to refine and master the earth's meridians. With the understanding of the laws of the earth and the support of divine power, he can now harvest a main meridian in minutes. However, as Lin Daoyuan gradually mastered all the geological veins of Buzhou Mountain, he discovered a very serious problem. In Buzhou Mountain, many veins are not unobstructed, but have many blockages and fractures. Moreover, after countless years of natural evolution, these geological defects have become increasingly significant, directly leading to a decrease in the strength of the Buzhou Mountain and even hindering the flow of geological veins. No wonder during the witch hunt, Zhoushan seemed to shatter with just a touch. It turns out that the problem lies here. The blockage of the Earth's veins and the rupture of the ancestral veins have hindered the smooth operation of the Earth's veins, hindering the absorption of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and the dark yellow energy by Buzhou Mountain, resulting in the loss of its supernatural power and fragility of the mountain. I just said that Gonggong district is a quasi-saint, why can we break through Mount Buzhou? But now that I have appeared, there is no possibility of this situation happening. I just don't know what interesting things will happen when I repair the surrounding mountains and make myself stronger, and then let Gonggong come knocking on me at this moment. Lin Daoyuan thought ill-intently and urged him to master the massive Xianhuang qi. Following the methods in his memory, he began to sort out the veins, repair faults, and clean up the debris in the veins. Chapter 003 Quasi Holy Strength, Hongjun preaches. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lin Daoyuan, as the spirit of the earth's veins in Buzhou Mountain, can naturally stimulate the majestic power within the veins. However, in that way, when stimulating the power of the earth's veins, it is difficult to fully grasp them, so we can only let them flow in disorder, which may even damage the mountain and self-harm the foundation. Just like a baby, how can it be easily controlled when suddenly given the body of an adult? So now controlling the Xianhuang qi to comb through the earth's veins, although tedious, Lin Daoyuan enjoys it. The feeling of gradually gaining power is really irresistible to him. In a blink of time, 3,000 years quietly passed. However, time is not so important in this vast world where one does not remember the year of practice and does not have the time to participate in the path. It should be noted that in the wilderness, many great supernatural beings have closed their doors for tens of millions of years at a time, and 3,000 years is just their time to close their eyes and sleep. But these 3,000 years have extraordinary significance for Lin Daoyuan. In these 3,000 years, he started from the branches, accumulating more and more, from small to large, gradually controlling the main branch as a ladder. 3,000 years have passed, and now he has mastered all the veins of Mount Buzhou, driving it to be smooth and smooth without any ambiguity. Now, as long as he moves his mind, the boundless dark yellow energy hidden in the ancestral lineage of Mount Buzhou will surge out and suppress the enemy according to his will. Moreover, under the control of Lin Daoyuan, he was able to condense the dark yellow energy in the veins of Buzhou Mountain in one place, achieving no waste. What concept? You should know that when a person is punching and kicking, their overall strength cannot be fully utilized by 40 to 50%, while Lin Daoyuan's control of the Earth's dark yellow qi can achieve a 10% effect. In other words, at this moment, with Lin Daoyuan's full force, even the quasi-holy and powerful could not withstand his blow. In fact, when it comes to power alone, Lin Daoyuan, as a non-Zhou mountain, has a tremendous power that cannot be compared to even the Honghuang Daoyuo Golden Immortal, let alone the quasi-saint. However, practicing the mixed elements of the Tao requires not only immense strength, but also an understanding of the Tao, which requires standing at a very high level to achieve. Although Lin Daoyuan now possesses the most powerful power in the wilderness, his understanding of the Tao only relies on the blessing of the earth's veins, so he cannot reach the realm of mixed elements. To use online games from previous lives as a metaphor, Lin Daoyuan only had a simple attribute to break through the sky, but he did not have any skills. Not only that, the fully controlled terrain of Buzhou Mountain is constantly operating on its own, constantly absorbing spiritual energy from heaven and earth, absorbing the dark yellow energy from the earth, and strengthening Buzhou Mountain. Simply put, Lin Daoyuan doesn't need to practice at all. His cultivation can be infinitely elevated by the self-operation of the earth's meridians. In addition, the blockages and faults in the surrounding mountain veins have been completely repaired by the forest road edge over the past 3,000 years. Nowadays, the throughput of the Xianhuang Qi in the territory of Buzhou Mountain is tens of thousands of times higher than before, which is enough to support the cultivation of several mixed elemental realms. It can be said that every breath passed, Lin Daoyuan could feel the enhancement of his own strength and the improvement of his mountain quality. Even if Gonggong practices a few more quantitative tribulations, he cannot cause any harm to Lin Daoyuan. Counting the days, Hongjun's lecture on Xixiao Palace is about to begin. I'm really looking forward to it. If it weren't for the inability to achieve the separation of the primordial spirit now, we would have gone to the Purple Sky Palace to join in the fun, Lin Daoyuan said, with a hint of regret in his words. After all, he was still very curious about Hongjun, the first saint of the times. At this moment, a sound of the great Dao bell suddenly sounded in the dark, indicating that the lecture on Hongjun's Xixiao Palace was about to begin. The immortal mountains and blessed lands in the wilderness are filled with various breaths, and countless qi machines interweave on the 9 heavens. A battle to seek the way is about to begin. At the top of Kunlun Mountain, Taiqing Laozi, Yushu Yuanshi, and Shangqing Tongtian sat looking at each other. In their eyes, the essence of the Tao flashed, and a sense of confidence emerged. Looking at the streaks of light passing through the air, Tong Tian spoke lightly and said, "Big brother, second brother, this time the sage is preaching, this opportunity should be earned by us." After hearing Tong Tian's words, Yuan Shi chuckled lightly and said, "Third brother, you're right. We all have the Pan-Gu secret technique. If anyone blocks my path, just kill them." Although Laozi did not speak, the brilliance in his eyes could not be overstated. Obviously, he was also determined to achieve the path of a sage. After a brief conversation, the three of them stood up and each stepped on the immortal light. Under the protection of the exquisite and mysterious yellow pagoda of heaven and earth, they fled towards the outer sky. Not only Kunlun Mountain, but also the western land. The golden light flows on Mount Shumi, and 2 Taoist priests with equally distressed faces, dressed in tattered clothes, also flee towards the heavens beyond. At the peak of Lingzhou Mountain, a Taoist holding an oil lamp with a gloomy face looked around, looking at the flowing light passing through the air, as if he had thought of something. A sharp light flashed in his eyes and he raced away. Powerful creatures have emerged from the underworld blood sea, the depths of the North Sea, the 5 villages of Wanshou Mountain, the Taiyin Star, the Sun Star, and the Wu Clan tribe, targeting the Chaos Sea beyond the heavens. Even Lin Daoyuan felt a breath circulating around his waist, and the 2 innate gods and demons with snake tails living on him also melted away and went to listen to the sage preaching. In addition to these powerful innate gods and demons, there are also countless scattered cultivators flying towards the outer world. But to cross the sky and beyond, it's not so easy. In the extraterrestrial sky, not only are there sharp winds, scorching flames, and flickering thunder, but there is also an invisible barrier that traps these scattered cultivators in the vast expanse of heaven and earth. This is the first test set by Hongjun. Those who are not skilled in following others, not to mention breaking through the barriers of the outer sky, cannot even pass through the layers of the strong wind and the heavenly fire. If we observe the wilderness from the perspective of God, we will find that there are only less than 4,000 destined people who can break through the barriers of the heavens. Breaking through the barrier of outer space and entering the chaotic sea is the second layer of test. In the chaotic sea, there is an endless flow of chaotic airflow, which is disorderly and violent. Even if there is a slight mistake, even the great Luo Golden Immortal will perish here. If there is no innate spiritual treasure to protect oneself, one cannot stay in it for a long time. On this level, nearly 1,000 people were wiped out, and finally, through the chaotic airflow, they successfully found the people in the Purple Sky Palace, one not many, exactly 3,000. At this moment, Lin Daoyuan looked at the escaping light passing through the air and felt a deep emotion. The pursuit of power was indeed the mainstream of the vast world. At this moment, he suddenly thought of something. After the lecture on Zixiao Palace, it seems that Pangu Sanqing, these innate gods and demons, will come to the Zhoushan mountain to search for natural resources and treasures. As someone who is not a Zhoushan, why should we hand over these things to others? Chapter 004. Heaven and Earth Spiritual Roots, Innate Treasure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Daoyuan transformed into Buzhou Mountain, and the natural resources and treasures on the mountain were equivalent to the ornaments and clothing on his body. At the thought of this group of innate gods and demons indiscriminately rushing over, they would plunder everything on their bodies without even leaving their underwear. Lin Daoyuan couldn't help but feel a strong aversion to cold. Why should I search for the things on my body for you? There is no doubt about the quality of the natural resources and treasures on Mount Buzhou. The quality and efficacy of the natural resources and treasures that can withstand the pressure of Pangu are definitely the best choice. Do you give away good things yourself? Lin Daoyuan asked himself that he couldn't be so generous, so he had to start first to be strong. Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan immediately activated his senses and began to search on Mount Buzhou. The natural resources and treasures on Mount Buzhou are mostly innate, and almost all innate objects have innate formations to conceal their breath, conceal their body shape, and isolate them from divine exploration. It's not easy to find even the heavenly way, let alone those with great abilities. No one can find it except for those who have fate. This is also the reason why Lin Daoyuan has never discovered any heavenly and earthly treasures above himself. However, now that Lin Daoyuan is in charge of the surrounding mountains and veins, he has his own unique method for searching for innate things. In theory, the more precious a treasure is, the larger the spiritual energy of heaven and earth it swallows. I have now fully mastered the veins of Mount Buzhou. Just a little exploration to see where the spiritual energy is concentrated, won't I be able to find the treasure? Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan immediately took action and soon found the first treasure. To the south of Buzhou Mountain, there is a cave on the mountainside that emits miraculous waves. Perceiving the innate formation deep in the cave, Lin Daoyuan's mind spun and he had a plan in mind. Although he is completely ignorant of the principles of formation, the innate formation always needs to absorb the spiritual energy of the earth meridians to operate. Lin Daoyuan is in charge of the underworld of the Zhoushan Mountains and needs to cut off the spiritual supply of the underworld in a cave. Isn't it simple? Under his control, All the veins in this cave were temporarily cut off, and his spiritual energy was completely isolated by his use of Xianhuang Qi. But over time, the innate formation began to appear and disappear, and the light contained in it could not be blocked by the stars. It radiated out, reflecting the cave like a galaxy of stars. Is it difficult to achieve the brilliance of the stars? Is it the fruit tree of the stars? As if confirming Lin Daoyuan's words, just as he finished speaking. The innate formation that existed here shattered in response, and a sparkling fruit tree emerged amidst the starlight. The endless power of the stars hangs down from the void, blending into the star fruit trees, splashing layers of brilliant starlight. It's the star fruit tree. According to legend, this star fruit tree is one of the top 10 innate spiritual roots, nourished by the power of the stars. It bears fruit every 30,000 years, with a total of 365 fruits each time, corresponding to the stars in the surrounding sky. Sure enough, it's incredibly supernatural. I just don't know if I can gain the ability to pull the stars after absorbing the star fruit. After speaking, Lin Daoyuan couldn't wait to grab one with his divine mind and blend directly into a local vein. As the stars and fruits merge with the earth vein, a brilliant starlight instantly covers this earth vein. In the underworld, the power of stars hangs down, connecting the earth veins with the stars. Hey! It really works. Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan happily picked up the star fruit tree and thought to himself whether he would choose some veins to blend into the star fruit and create a batch of star and earth veins. After finding the star fruit tree, Lin Daoyuan was completely familiar with the gates and paths of the innate formation. He searched for the spiritual roots and treasures, which was a familiar journey. In less than 100 years, the natural resources and treasures on the surface of Mount Buzhou have basically been thoroughly searched by him, but the most valuable ones are undoubtedly the starry fruit tree, the innate 5 elements pine, and the Wudao tea tree. Looking at the spiritual roots and treasures gathered together at this moment, Lin Daoyuan felt a wave of satisfaction in his heart. Do you want to use my things as a chance? Don't even think about it. Taking these spiritual roots and treasures as their heritage, they were stored in different categories at the core of Buzhou Mountain. Lin Daoyuan nodded satisfactorily and then continued to scan Buzhou Mountain in search of natural resources and treasures. He always has a wonderful feeling that there is one of the most precious treasures on Mount Buzhou that he has not yet discovered. If you miss this one, maybe someone else will take it away next time. With such thoughts in mind, Lin Daoyuan tirelessly searched for the previously explored land over and over again. Finally, beneath an inconspicuous cliff, Lin Daoyuan discovered an anomaly. At the place where the Wudao tea tree was collected, there was actually a hidden formation within the broken innate formation. Chain formation. You almost fooled me, but fortunately, I had a sudden idea and repeatedly investigated, which finally caught you, the fish that missed the net. However, speaking of it, this combo array should be considered the top configuration among the innate large arrays. I don't know what good things can be developed thinking of this. Lin Daoyuan couldn't wait to isolate the spiritual energy of the local veins, and even extracted the scattered spiritual energy around the formation through the veins. Not long after, the innate formation was like a bubble, and with a boom, it cracked and shattered, presenting the hidden treasure in front of Lin Daoyuan. I saw a green fairy lotus with infinite mysteries quietly floating here. The infinite phenomena of creation manifest around the green lotus, with countless changes and unparalleled wonders. The divine light of creation lingers around it like a ribbon, with a pale red flower bud swaying at the lotus heart and a white lotus root swaying at the stem. Pieces of green lotus petals are carved like jade, beautiful and imbued with boundless power. What a natural green lotus! Lin Daoyuan was overjoyed, and the creation of Qinglian can be said to be the biggest harvest of this time. You should know that in the future, when Pangu Sanqing found this 20.4 grade natural green lotus, he transformed it into 3 parts. Red flower, white lotus root, and green lotus leaf. They have evolved into the 3 treasures Jade Rui, Dragon Head Biangguai, and Qingping Sword, all of which are top-notch innate spiritual treasures. The treasure that can differentiate into three top-quality innate spiritual treasures is about to be revealed. It is an innate treasure. In the wilderness, the innate treasures that have appeared are nothing more than Tai Chi diagram, Pangu banner, chaos bell, and broken creation jade plate. Now, due to my early collection, this created Qinglian has not differentiated into a magic weapon of Sanqing, and still maintains its innate treasure body. It's just blood earned. Lin Daoyuan stared intently at the green lotus in the creation, his love overflowing in words. Quickly using his divine powers, he lifted the green lian of creation and returned to the core of Buzhou Mountain, feeling overjoyed. He carefully placed the innate treasure lotus flower in the middle of the treasures. Chapter 005. Earth's Fetal Membrane, Master of the Dark Yellow Way. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After a thorough sweep, 70% of the natural resources and treasures on Mount Buzhou were seized by Lin Daoyuan. The remaining treasures are not formed by the innate formation itself, and Lin Daoyuan cannot break them by cutting off spiritual energy. It is his innate formation that focuses on concealment, and he cannot detect the spiritual fluctuations within it by relying on the earth's veins. However, what he has gained now has satisfied Lin Daoyuan. Isn't there a saying in the vast and desolate world that goes, the great road is 50, the heavens are 4 or 9, and one of them is to escape. The rest is left for the sentient beings in the wilderness, which can be considered as following the path of the wilderness. Now that everything is in hand, what Lin Daoyuan needs to consider next is how to utilize these resources. Although I have gained so many natural resources and treasures this time, strictly speaking, as the spirit of the earth's veins in Buzhou Mountain, I do not need these things to enhance my strength. The innate spiritual roots can continue to be planted on Mount Buzhou, constantly gathering the spiritual energy of heaven and earth for me. But planting on Mount Buzhou, without the protection of the innate formation, wouldn't it be a waste of collecting them together, so that they can end up in one pot? No, we need to find a way to handle these spiritual roots properly, firstly, when there is a space to store spiritual roots. As soon as the words fell, the edge of the forest path stimulated the dark yellow energy of the earth's veins, condensing at the core of the Buzhou Mountain. The origin of the earth's veins was brewing within it, and an independent space was about to manifest. As he continued to inject the dark yellow energy, space was connected to the earth's veins, and an infinite earth condensed into space. With the earth, the sky is also indispensable. Lin Daoyuan is not connected to the surrounding mountains and mountains, sweeping the spiritual energy of heaven and earth from millions of miles into space, forming a clear air that rises and transforms into a sky. Heaven and earth manifest, and the space gradually becomes complete and stable, and an independent space is constructed. With the space available, we still need to decorate it. Lin Daoyuan's mind moved, and the earth and rocks in the space rose up, causing the earth to tremble. A huge valley rose from the ground, magnificent and magnificent. The mountains and rocks, which rise and fall one after another, completely concealed the scenery inside the valley. They can be used for protection and also conform to the principles of heaven and earth. Then, Lin Daoyuan activated the surrounding mountain veins and directly pulled the 3 largest main veins into the valley, serving as the source of spiritual energy for their daily operation. Then a ground vein spiritual gathering array was set up in the center of the valley, which absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth through 3 ground veins for the innate spiritual roots to absorb. After pulling the spiritual energy into it, the next step is to bestow protective powers on this valley. With so many spiritual roots and immortal treasures, it is inevitable that even saints will inevitably develop greed, let alone sentient beings in the wilderness. If I don't decorate it properly, then I won't be able to find peace in the future. With this in mind, Lin Daoyuan began to search for his inherited memories and soon found an extremely suitable method. I saw a movement in his mind, and in the flow of his divine thoughts, he mobilized all the veins of the surrounding mountains, and the endless dark yellow energy condensed in the sky above the valley. The authentic divine light flickered, and a layer of dark yellow barrier condensed and enveloped the valley. Small authentic talismans and seals flowed incessantly above the barrier, and a vast, heavy and majestic chi dissipated. As the ancestral lineage of the vast wilderness, the spirit of the earth's veins of Mount Buzhou, I have condensed the earth's fetal membrane, which is capable of withstanding attacks from the sages. And this earth's fetal membrane is connected to the entire surrounding mountain veins. As long as the veins are not destroyed, this fetal membrane will always exist. Without my permission, even saints cannot enter it, let alone the fact that the 6 saints of Tianding have not yet preached in the midst of the chaos. Hongjun doesn't need these innate spiritual roots either, he should be stable now. Looking at the invincible earth membrane, Lin Daoyuan smiled with satisfaction and immediately began planting innate spiritual roots. Firstly, he took out the inferior spiritual roots and planted them from the outside to the inside according to their quality. However, when it comes to planting, at the moment when Lin Daoyuan took out those innate spiritual roots, the spiritual roots were alive and felt the rich spiritual energy in the valley that almost formed spiritual liquid. There was no need for Lin Daoyuan to do anything at all. He strode his roots and walked unsteadily towards the interior of the valley. After finding a suitable location, he dug his roots into the soil and comfortably breathed in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in the valley. Lin Daoyuan felt a bit amused when he saw this scene, but he also felt relieved. Simply remove all the spiritual roots except for those few heavy treasures, and let them take root in the valley on their own. I saw a surge of spiritual energy in the valley, and the figures of innate spiritual roots shuttle through it, illuminating the valley with colorful hues, instantly beautiful. Ignoring these innate spiritual roots, Lin Daoyuan went straight to the interior of the valley and began to install the remaining 4 top-notch spiritual roots. Lin Daoyuan took out the star fruit tree, pondered for a while, and planted it in the eastern part of the valley, corresponding to the boundless sky and the vast sea of stars. The star fruit tree grows by absorbing the power of the stars, so Lin Daoyuan removes the mature star fruit from the tree one by one. Integrate it with the earth's veins, creating 18 complete star and earth veins that are introduced into the valley. It has not only strengthened the surrounding mountains and veins, but also gained enough power from the stars, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And the innate 5 elements pine was planted by him in the center of the valley, with its unique 5 elements Dao rhyme, affecting the spiritual energy in the valley, making it achieve the rotation of the 5 elements in endless growth. And he directly led all the 5 element branches in the geological veins of Buzhou Mountain to this place. With the blessing of the 5 elements and earthly veins, the spiritual energy of the 5 elements in the entire valley gradually increases, and the quality of spiritual energy has also made a qualitative leap. The Wudao tea tree was planted by him in the south of the valley, where spiritual energy is most abundant. In this way, the quality of the Wudao tea tree will be subtly improved. After all, Wudao tea is a great thing to make or give as a gift in the future, and the higher the quality, the better. As for the innate treasure level creation green lotus, it is placed at the top of the valley by the edge of the forest path, standing on top of all spiritual roots. In doing so, it does not insult its innate and precious position, and secondly, it brings indescribable benefits to all the spiritual roots in the valley by unleashing the divine light of creation. From now on, here is Zhuanananiba Huangshan Valley. At the edge of Shaolin Daoyuan, there will be Xianhuang Taoist Master. Everyone, please give me more guidance. In a great mood, Lin Daoyuan mistakenly treated the spiritual roots in the valley as living beings and said such a thoughtless sentence. After speaking, he also laughed at himself. How could these spiritual roots understand what he was saying? Just in a place that Lin Daoyuan didn't notice, a faint emotional fluctuation suddenly emerged from the creation of the Qingnian. The lotus petals swayed slightly, as if expressing joy. P.S. 5th watch, kneel for flowers, and there are also review tickets and rewards. During the new book period, I still hope that readers can support me more. Your support is my motivation. Chapter 006. Devouring Earthly Veins, The Origin of the Earth. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After setting everything in Honghuang Valley, Lin Daoyuan looked at the sky and thought. With the 3 lectures of Hongjun Zixiao Palace, the strength of innate gods and demons in the wilderness will be greatly enhanced. After the end of the 3 lectures, the cultivation of becoming a quasi-saint is nothing more than a leisurely task, and achieving enlightenment and becoming a saint is truly a great ability. If I don't have enough strength then, I will be coveted by the 6 saints of the heavenly way if I sit in the treasure land of Buzhou Mountain, the mysterious Mount Huangshan Valley. Especially the 2 Western sages, they may try their best to seize my opportunity. In the vast world, only strength is fundamental. Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan looks at the vibrant scenery in Honghuang Valley and feels the huge energy in Buzhou Mountain. I silently made a decision in my heart to protect everything I currently have. As the spirit of the bloodline of Mount Buzhou, the only way to enhance my strength is to strengthen the bloodline of Mount Buzhou. At this point, Lin Daoyuan will perceive and release the boundaries of Buzhou Mountain, exploring the terrain outside of Buzhou Mountain. It is worth noting that due to the fact that Mount Buzhou is the ancestral lineage of the times, there are quite a few geological veins surrounding it. If it were all swallowed up, Lin Daoyuan's strength would have a qualitative leap. Lin Daoyuan's mind moved, and the entire terrain in Buzhou Mountain seemed to have come to life. It meandered and twisted like a giant dragon competing, and the terrain extended like a green dragon swimming in the sea. In the dark, these earth veins seemed to transform into ancient dragons, roaring deafly as they looked up to the sky. The gathering of Honghuang Qi drives the extension of the surrounding flood and wasteland veins, starting to devour them. I saw a rise of soil and rocks near Mount Buzhou, and a strong sense of shock erupted. A mysterious yellow guanghua escaped from the earth, and an endless melody of the great tunnel permeated the world. Spirits like Lin Daoyuan, who possess earthly veins, can be said to seize the creation of heaven and earth, and seize the opportunity of no superior opportunity. Through countless coincidences and opportunities, they were born into the world. The veins outside the Zhoushan mountains do not have this kind of creation, but operate in an orderly manner according to the order of heaven and earth, suppressing the wasteland. In Lin Daoyuan's eyes, these veins were very dull, like lifeless dead objects. Even though Lin Daoyuan had already activated the surrounding mountain veins, completely devouring them, there was no response from them. This undoubtedly makes the process of Lin Daoyuan devouring the earth veins extremely easy and efficient. To devour a vein, one only needs to use the Honghuang Qi to entangle it. Without the will of the Zhoushan vein, one can directly attack the Huanglong and quickly assimilate and devour it. The branches of the earth that depend on the veins of Mount Buzhou were immediately devoured by the edge of the forest path. The majestic and boundless dark yellow energy converges towards Buzhou Mountain like a whale swallowing the sea and drinking, condensing a layer of golden halo on Buzhou Mountain, appearing extremely supernatural. Not only that, a huge earth's true meaning suddenly surged into Lin Daoyuan's mind as the earth's veins engulfed him, condensing a boundless land within it. The mysteries of the earth flowed in the heart of Lin Daoyuan, and he seemed to have an epiphany at this moment, gaining a new understanding of the vast and desolate terrain. Due to Lin Daoyuan devouring these veins, his original responsibility of suppressing a certain area of the earth fell on his shoulders. Quietly digesting this vast amount of information, Lin Daoyuan now knew his responsibility as a local artery. That is to hold the power of the earth, suppress the 9 heavens and 10 earths, the 4 seas and 8 wastelands, and maintain the stable operation of the vast and desolate world. After realizing the responsibility of the earth's veins, his mind can no longer circulate within the mountains of Buzhou, but can be touched by the land he suppresses. It feels like the body has grown up, from the original boundary of the mountains to encompassing all the surrounding boundaries. At this moment, both inside and outside the Zhoushan mountains, the earth was shaking and there seemed to be countless earth dragons churning and rolling beneath the earth, triggering a very strong earthquake. The appearance of a strange phenomenon shocked the living beings living near Mount Buzhou, causing them to pack up their belongings and flee away from Mount Buzhou. You should know that Mount Buzhou has never experienced such great turbulence from ancient times to the present day. Now, with the emergence of strange phenomena and such great movements, who knows what happened? If it were a disaster, wouldn't it be an unfounded disaster? Not long after, all the creatures near Mount Buzhou, including the witch tribes stationed here, evacuated from this place. After leaving Buzhou Mountain, a group of great witches who stayed among the witches watched the strange changes in Buzhou Mountain, and after some discussion, they believed it to be a Father God manifestation. Immediately, he led his tribe to kneel and kowtow towards Buzhou Mountain, performing a ritual of worshipping the gods of the Wu tribe, expressing his respect for the father of Pangu. Watching the movements of the Wu people, Lin Daoyuan couldn't help but feel a bit amused. However, as the spirit of the underworld of Mount Buzhou, he inherited the will of Pangu and was able to withstand the great gifts of the witch race. After looking for a while, he withdrew his gaze and continued to comprehend the mysteries of the earth. Is this the power of the earth? Indeed, it is supernatural. In this way, it gathers the power of the vast and desolate land veins. Maybe I can even fight the saint's wrist when the time comes. Lin Daoyuan was delighted to perceive the gradually growing veins of the earth, opening up his mind and fully comprehending the laws of the earth. With these newly mastered veins, Lin Daoyuan's understanding of the laws of the earth became more profound, and he became more adept at activating the Xianhuang Qi. Lin Daoyuan, who tasted the sweetness, continued to devour the external earth veins, integrating the majestic and sea-like dark yellow energy into himself, and driving the profound understanding of the earth's laws to manifest in the sea of consciousness. At this moment, a spiritual light suddenly appeared in his mind, and countless insights seemed to converge at a node. He inserted his divine thoughts into this node, and suddenly, all the laws of the earth seemed to be integrated, fully revealing the mysteries of the earth in his mind. Lin Daoyuan naturally entered a strange state, and at this moment, he seemed to have become the master of the vast and wasteland veins, the embodiment of the tunnel. Take control of the vast and boundless land, and control the vast and desolate land. At this moment, a golden divine light suddenly bloomed at the bottom of Mount Buzhou, and an endless pressure swept through the wilderness. In the dark, the vast land seemed to have come to life, and endless underground laws were revealed, rendering the breath of the earth even more profound. If someone can observe the direction of the earth's veins, they will find that at this moment, all the veins in the wilderness have stopped running. Like a vassal, worshipping towards the direction of Buzhou Mountain. A divine will that lingers in the dark yellow aura manifests at the bottom of the Buzhou Mountain, where endless sources of the earth's Tao gather. A will that can rival the heavenly Tao is born in this world. Lin Daoyuan was also awakened by this anomaly for the first time, staring blankly at the roulette wheel and muttering to himself. Is this the authentic divine wheel? P.S. 6th watch, kneel for flowers, and there are also evaluation tickets and rewards. Chapter 007. Authentic Divine Wool, Body Fit Authentic. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The aura of Xianhuang surged, and the entire vast and desolate world was filled with solemnity. All living beings gazed towards the direction of Buzhou Mountain, and an inexplicable sense of joy quietly emerged in the hearts of all beings. This is the joy of the vast and desolate world, where the authentic world is about to be completed. The two parallel paths of heaven and earth further elevate the origin of the flood and famine. On the edge of the vast world, endless dark yellow energy gathers here and blends into the barriers of the world. With the blessing of the dark yellow energy, the world barrier was coated with a layer of dark yellow halo, and the chaotic airflow was opened up, strengthening the vast world. The current wasteland has visibly expanded and expanded, with countless new veins nurturing and suppressing the earth. At this moment, in various parts of the wasteland, golden lotus blooms from the earth dragons offer blessings, and 9 dark yellow auras appear above the sky. The thick and gentle Tao rhyme permeates between the wasteland and heaven. In a moment, countless mountain and wild spirits, as well as plants, trees, and stones, gave birth to spiritual intelligence through this melody. Countless cultivators in the wilderness evolved innate Tao bodies and transformed into forms. Even Hongjun in the Zixiao palace stopped preaching and gazed at the vast land, silently pondering to himself. At this moment, the 3,000 mortal guests in the Purple Sky Palace followed Hongjun's gaze and looked at the vast world, all shocked. Compared to the desolate world before, the size of the world has expanded several times. The most intuitive feeling is that the flood and famine are more complete, larger, and more stable. Moreover, the mountains, rivers, seas, and other objects that carry the earth's veins in the midst of the flood and wasteland have all undergone sublimation and grown tens of thousands of times, echoing the constantly expanding flood and wasteland. At this moment, Lin Daoyuan stood still in place. In front of him, a golden wheel engraved with mountains, rivers, mountains, and the proliferation of all spirits was continuously releasing the authentic energy. Lin Daoyuan quickly recalled the memories of the wasteland in his mind, but after thinking for a long time, he found nothing. This authentic divine will seems to appear out of thin air at the bottom of Buzhou Mountain, incredibly strange. Although it is unknown where this authentic divine will comes from, it cannot be denied that it is one of the most precious and important things in the vast world. If I could control the authentic divine will, how fortunate it would be. Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan was very honest and turned his divine thoughts towards the authentic divine wheel. What he didn't expect was that there was no defense mechanism, nor was there any resistance from the underground divine wheel. His divine thoughts penetrated into the underground divine wheel without any obstacles. It seems that both of us are products of the earth, so I still have a strong connection with the authentic divine wheel. At this moment, the authentic divine will was like a newborn baby, very pure, sensing the dark yellow energy on Lin Daoyuan's body. Suddenly, a sense of closeness came from above the authentic divine wheel. Sensing the closeness of the authentic divine wheel, Lin Daoyuan's courage gradually increased, controlling the Xian Huang Qi to condense into a big hand and stroke the authentic divine wheel. A bold idea appeared in his mind. This authentic divine wheel is so close to me, I think it's not a problem for me to merge it and further deepen our connection, right? These divine objects should belong to me. After speaking, Lin Daoyuan burst out laughing 3 times, stirring up the dark yellow energy and taking out the authentic divine wheel from the bottom of the surrounding mountain, ready to begin fusion. At this moment, the authentic divine will seemed to have sensed Lin Daoyuan's thoughts, and before he could take any action, it transformed into a golden divine light and directly integrated into the Buzhou Mountain. What's going on? Lin Daoyuan felt the fusion of the authentic divine will into his body, and before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by a powerful and ultimate authentic force. This underground power flows within the Buzhou Mountain, and the dark yellow energy originally stored within the mountain is now compressed and condensed by the underground power, transforming into a brand new force. The power of the tunnel. At the same time, Lin Daoyuan's perception was greatly enhanced by the power of the underworld. At this time, all the scenes on the whole land of flood and famine were manifested in his mind. He could detect the expansion of heaven and earth, but could not detect the breeding of insects. Simply put, now as long as Lin Daoyuan's mind moves, no wind or grass on the entire wasteland can escape his exploration. Not only that, endless authentic insights suddenly flooded into his sea of consciousness, and a wheel emitting an infinite aura of authentic gods appeared in his sea of consciousness at some point. Lin Daoyuan felt as if he was integrated with this piece of heaven and earth, enjoying what they liked and hating what they did. In the darkness, a supreme will suddenly descended on Mount Buzhou, as if witnessing or giving recognition. After integrating the authentic divine will, Buzhou Mountain also underwent tremendous changes at this time. The originally towering Mount Buzhou has now been further elevated, along with the sky being held up, gradually moving away from the earth. The Buzhou Mountains, which previously only spanned billions of miles, have now extended again, giving birth to 70.2 branches, bringing together 90.9 and 80.1 branches. The material of Mount Buzhou has undergone tremendous changes, not only becoming harder, but even the pressure of Pangu has become stronger. There are faint signs of recovery to the beginning of the heavens. Sensing the various changes that had occurred in himself, Lin Daoyuan was pleasantly surprised to find that he had become a primitive tunnel, and all the information about the tunnel was now visible in his sea of knowledge. His strength, with the blessing of authentic power, is enough to confront and even suppress saints. At this moment, Lin Daoyuan had a clear understanding of the wonders and responsibilities of the tunnel, gaining both strength and a heavy sense of responsibility. Authentic prosperity. Indeed, the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. Since I have become a primitive tunnel now, no matter what, there will inevitably be a prosperous tunnel in the future. This is my responsibility, and even more so, my promise. In the darkness, the Supreme Will hidden in nothingness seemed to hear Lin Daoyuan's powerful words, nodded in satisfaction, and drifted away with the wind. Lin Daoyuan only then had the intention to investigate what had happened to him. Firstly, the integration of the authentic divine will into Buzhou Mountain, the integration of the authentic will into the sea of consciousness, the growth of Buzhou Mountain, and one's own control of the authentic authority are internal changes. And with the changes in the outside world, the vast expanse of heaven and earth has expanded, countless mountains, rivers, and mountains have also expanded, and countless new veins have emerged. Vaguely, Lin Daoyuan had a premonition that the emergence of underground tunnels had weakened the authority of the heavenly Tao, which had previously dominated the vast world. At this moment, he looked up at the sky again, and a faint hostility emerged from above the 9 heavens, pointing directly at Lin Daoyuan, who had transformed into an authentic figure. P.S. 6th Watch, kneeling for flowers, there are also evaluation votes and rewards. No one voted, please support. Chapter 008. The Secret of the Tunnel, Causes and Consequences. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sorting out the information about the underworld in his mind, Lin Daoyuan thought he would be very pleased to have integrated the underworld divine wheel. But only after he fully understood the authentic Xian meat did he realize what kind of hot potato the authentic divine will was. In the midst of the flood and famine, there should have been 3 parallel paths of heaven, earth, and humanity, jointly managing the flood and famine of heaven and earth. Among them, the birth of the heavenly way was the earliest, manifested when Pangu, the great deity, opened up the wasteland of heaven and earth, and used the name of the heavenly way to rectify the wasteland of heaven and earth, promoting the evolution of the wasteland of heaven and earth. So, the grand trend in the vast and desolate world is often referred to as the heavenly Tao grand trend. At this time, the authenticity and humanity are not apparent, and the heavenly way alone controls the flood and wasteland, indeed managing it in an orderly manner. In fact, the development of the heavenly way has already approached completeness. The responsibility that belongs to the heavenly Tao should be fulfilled. He has already done it almost perfectly, and the rest is what the earthly Tao and humanity should worry about. But why did Hongjun later say that the heavenly way was incomplete and that he had to conform to the heavenly way with his own body? From the authentic information recorded in the authentic divine wheel, Lin Daoyuan knew the cause and effect. I see, although the heavenly way has no emotions, it has given birth to consciousness through countless years of evolution, with an instinct to seek benefits and avoid harm. The birth of the underworld and humanity will dilute the power of the vast world in his hands, so he will instinctively suppress the birth of both the earth and humanity. Now that we still have to wait for a measure of calamity before humanity emerges, is the firepower of the heavenly Tao concentrated on the earthly Tao? After Lin Daoyuan finished speaking, he recalled the process of the birth of the tunnel in his past life memories. In the normal trend of the primordial realm, the birth of the underworld would have to wait until the end of the Lich Demon realm. The ancestor of the earth, Houtu, felt the suffering of sentient beings in the wilderness. After death, he could only transform into a wandering soul, wandering between heaven and earth all day long, with no place to return and no time to return. So with great compassion, great perseverance, and great wisdom, we embodied the 6 cycles of reincarnation and created supreme merit. The 6 paths of reincarnation emerged, and the underworld was also established, which is the true birth of the underworld. However, in the memory of the inheritance of the authentic culture, Buzhou Mountain, as the ancestral lineage of the wilderness, gathers the power of the earth's veins and has undergone countless years of evolution, giving birth to the divine wheel of the authentic culture and nurturing the consciousness of the authentic culture. So the tunnel of the wilderness should have been born in the early stages of the Lich Demon realm, or even earlier. However, due to Luo Gui's defeat at the hands of Hongjun, he detonated the western underworld and dealt a heavy blow to the underworld, which delayed the birth of the underworld until the end of the Lich Demon realm. Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan couldn't help but recall the authentic ending in his past life memories. Due to the birth of the tunnel being buried by Luo Gui, the heavenly Tao once again took control of a quantity calamity in the wilderness. In this calamity, the heavenly Tao and Hongjun reached an agreement. Hongjun united with the heavenly Tao and pushed the primordial Tao to an unknown height with the power of the Hunyuan. In addition, Hongjun created fragments of jade plates to supplement the laws of the heavenly Tao, allowing the strength of the heavenly Tao to completely surpass the undeveloped earthly and human beings at this time. Afterwards, things became very simple. With strong strength, the heavenly Tao directly suppressed the underground tunnels, imprisoned the rear earth, suppressed the underworld, and seized power. Even in the final stage of the Lich Demon Cataclysm, during the final battle of the Lich Demons, the chi of the Cataclysm was used to lure Gonggong into anger and touch Mount Buzhou. If it were not for the spirit of Lin Daoyuan, which combs through the surrounding mountain veins, under the blockage of the veins, spiritual energy would be lost and the mountain would be fragile. In this situation, Gonggong will inevitably be able to break through the waste of Zhoushan. At that time, the ancestral lineage of the Honghuang was destroyed, and half of the Mount Buzhou was even taken away by the Yuanshi heavenly sovereign and refined into the postnatal treasure, the Fantian seal. The authentic divine wheel is completely shattered, the authentic consciousness is eliminated, and the authority of the authentic will belong to the heavenly Tao. It has to be said that the heavenly way is really a profound calculation. After Luo Gui's defeat, if he wanted to retaliate against Hongjun, he could have countless ways. Whether it's a sneak attack during Hongjun's cultivation, or sacrificing oneself to curse and kill Hongjun with a demonic method, which is better than detonating the western meridian. But why did Luo Yan ultimately choose to use this worst method, not only to die but also to carry boundless karma? There is definitely the heavenly way playing a role in this. As soon as the words fell, Lin Daoyuan analyzed the authentic inheritance memory and past life memory together, and couldn't help but feel a bit confused. After enticing Luo Gui to detonate the western meridian, the tunnel was severely damaged, giving the heavenly Tao time to plan with peace of mind. Even let Hongjun Zixiao Palace give 3 lectures, gathering the energy and fortune of all beings in the wilderness, calmly calculating first-hand humanity. After Hongjun adopted the cultivation of Hunyuan to integrate with the heavenly way, the overall situation was established. He used the incomplete heavenly way as an excuse to suppress the underground way and plan for humanity. It is only natural to destroy Mount Buzhou in the end and completely seize the power of the tunnel. Until now, Lin Daoyuan only realized why the authentic gods were so close to him, even taking the initiative to throw themselves in arms. It was precisely because Lin Daoyuan wanted to improve his cultivation that, while devouring the earth veins, he unintentionally gathered the energy of the flood and wilderness earth channels. With Lin Daoyuan in charge of the ancestral lineage of the Honghuang in Buzhou Mountain, and the gathering of the power of the earthly lineage, it was only then that the dormant underground divine will at the bottom of Buzhou Mountain was awakened. The original spirit of the Zhoushan earth vein should have gradually evolved into a consciousness of the wasteland and underground, but due to the calculation of the heavenly way, Luo Gui self-destructed and destroyed the western earth vein, resulting in the fragmentation of the spirit of the surrounding mountains and veins, leaving only an empty shell-like tunnel divine wheel. Now that Lin Daoyuan has crossed over, the spirit of the earth's veins has been reborn in Buzhou Mountain, and the consciousness of the earth's veins has been re-evolved, which has led to the return of the earth's divine wheel and the emergence of the primitive earth. It seems that my journey has triggered a huge butterfly effect. However, since I have integrated the authentic divine wheel and become a primitive and authentic person, then I will be a good person to the end and send the Buddha to the West. I will complete the task of reviving the authentic world. Not to mention anything else, at least the revenge that ignites the Western bloodline, I must avenge it. As the saying goes, it is not too late for a gentleman to seek revenge in 10 years. However, Lin Daoyuan believed that he was not a gentleman. After becoming an underground, he empathized with the fatal blow to the Western underground network that was detonated and the underground suffered. I even wish I could start retaliating now. Little people seek revenge from morning till night. After clarifying his thoughts, Lin Daoyuan began to think about how to retaliate against the Heavenly Way. Nowadays, with the strong power of the Heavenly Way, it is clearly unwise to directly confront it. However, the news that I have evolved into an authentic person has not been revealed yet. With the cover of the power of the tunnel, even the Heavenly Tao cannot discover my identity. In addition, I still have memories of my past life. When the enemy sees me in the dark, I can recover some interest. I think it can still be done. P.S. 8th watch, please ask for flowers, and there are also evaluation tickets. Has anyone seen them? Chapter 009. The Struggle for Qi and the Method of Authentic Cultivators. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, the Heavenly Tao is instructing Hongjun to preach to sentient beings and gather their energy. Can I write some articles on this matter? The simplest way to confront the enemy is to confront them. In short, whatever the Heavenly Tao wants to do, he must find a way to stir it up. This is Lin Daoyuan's way of thinking. In the authentic inheritance memory, it is not necessary to place the primordial spirit in the Heavenly Tao to prove the mixed nature of the Tao. I think this is also the plan of the Heavenly Way, hoping to recruit 6-level thugs of the Honghuang sage to maintain the orderly operation of the Heavenly Way. Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan couldn't help but feel a little relieved that he unintentionally awakened the tunnel ahead of time. If we wait until the Heavenly Six Saints return to their positions, we can plan according to our own plans. The Heavenly Way can send the 6 Saints to come and directly flatten the Buzhou Mountain at any time. With big fists and no reason at all, he just lifted the table. How can he play with this? However, now that Hongjun has not yet gathered the energy of all sentient beings to align with the Heavenly Way, there is room for manipulation. The reason why Hongjun wants to gather the energy of all beings is to gain recognition from the vast world and find an excuse to conform to the Heavenly Way. So the key to breaking the game lies in this group of angry luck. How can we snatch the energy of sentient beings from Hongjun? Thinking of this, Lin Daoyuan couldn't help but fall into contemplation. Because if we can snatch the energy of all beings from Hongjun's hands, it can limit Hongjun's integration with the Heavenly Tao and suppress the growth of Heavenly Tao's strength. Secondly, it can weaken the scale of Heavenly Way cultivators. It is important to know that the overall strength of Heavenly Way cultivators is an important component of the power of Heavenly Way. In the future, the reason why the Heavenly Way can be developed according to the principles of the earth and humanity is precisely because the birth of the 6 Saints of the Heavenly Way laid the foundation for its strength. In other words, the 3 realms of heaven, earth, and man are the rulers of the royal dynasty, and the cultivators of the 3 realms are the armies of the dynasty. The game of the dynasties relies on the fighting between armies. If we follow the normal development trend, the representatives of underground cultivators are imprisoned in Houtu, the underworld is weak, and the humane 3 emperors and 5 emperors are also imprisoned in Huiyun Cave. Even the army is controlled by the Heavenly Way. How can we fight against the Heavenly Way? Not to mention that the combination of authenticity and humanity gave rise to the Sage of Houtu, who was forever trapped in the land of reincarnation. Under the Heavenly Way, there are a total of 7 saints in Hongjun. Now is the time for the Heavenly Way to recruit soldiers. If we could use it as a hindrance, we would feel nauseous and weaken the enemy, while also being happy and enhancing ourselves. With this in mind, Lin Daoyuan's thoughts gradually became clearer. The Heavenly Way is taught 3 times by Hongjun Zixiao Palace, preaching to sentient beings, passing down the laws of the heavenly way, and gathering the energy and fortune of sentient beings in the wilderness. It is precisely because the birth of innate gods and demons has not been long ago, and the cultivation methods are scarce, that the heavenly way's planning of the chi and fortune of all beings is carried out so smoothly. What if I also create an authentic method of cultivation, preaching to sentient beings and opening an altar to preach? Lin Daoyuan thought about this place and became more and more excited as he thought about it. The inspiration in his mind surged like a flood of broken embankments. Note that for all beings in the wilderness, if divided simply, there are high-level cultivators who can be divided into the realm of the great Luo Golden Immortal, as well as ordinary cultivators who cannot reach the Purple Sky Palace. No matter how strong the high-level cultivators are, their numbers will not be too many. There are only 3,000 red dust guests in the Purple Sky Palace. Although these people occupy a portion of the energy of sentient beings, the main body of energy is still among many ordinary cultivators. If I could create a method of earth cultivation that is suitable for countless ordinary cultivators in the wilderness, wouldn't the energy of all beings come? As he spoke, Lin Daoyuan not only remembered a great leader from his past life, but also used his power to gather the lower class, drive out foreign domains, accept and pay for mountains and rivers, and establish an eastern strong country. Can he also follow suit and create a worldwide version of the anti-heavenly war? This plan is feasible. Please note that apart from the 6 saints of the heavenly way, there are countless talented and stunning generations in the wilderness. It was precisely because of the method of beheading 3 corpses and the drag of the Honghuang purple chi that he disappeared from the crowd. Nowadays, with the birth of tunnels, the vast and desolate world is stronger and more stable than before, capable of carrying more saints. There should also be 9 saints in my tunnel, so first of all, I need to create a unique and brand new cultivation method. After Lin Daoyuan finished speaking, his mind moved and he gathered a group of authentic forces and began to deduce. I saw this authentic force condensed into a light cluster, with endless insights into the rules of the tunnel, transforming into talismans and seals circulating endlessly within it. The authentic divine radiance emerged, and countless anomalies of mountains, rivers, and earth veins poured in, showcasing boundless wonders. In the wilderness, the cultivation methods created by living beings are too crude, and the cultivation methods of the heavenly way are too limited, but they can all be borrowed. As soon as the words were spoken, the phantom of a deity's cultivation appeared in the authentic light cluster, providing nourishment for the birth of the authentic cultivation method. In the center of these shadows, a figure shining with golden divine light is slowly condensing. The law of the heavenly way is to comprehend and practice the power of the heavenly way. So the way for me to practice the authentic way is to comprehend the authentic way and cultivate the dark yellow energy of the earth's veins. Lin Daoyuan spits out golden lotus at the mouth, and the majestic and boundless dark yellow energy of the earth veins rushes in like a whale swallowing the sea and drinking, gathering on the golden figure. A series of authentic seal scripts surround the figure, with authentic patterns engraved on the figure's body. The best candidate for practicing the Xianhuang Qi through the authentic method is the Wu tribe. So the method of practicing the authentic way can be practiced without the primordial spirit. It is to combine the body with the earth's meridians, condense the spirit of the authentic way, and open up the purple mansion to strengthen oneself. As Lin Daoyuan spoke his true words, a sea of qi composed of Xianhuang qi suddenly condensed from the alchemy of the golden little man. This is the purple mansion, which shares a similar beauty with the Yuan Shenshi Hai. At the center of the golden figure's eyebrows, a unique elemental spirit of the authentic method. The authentic spirit is condensed to replace the elemental spirit and enhance divine consciousness. It is the way of heaven that carries the universe, and the way of earth that inherits all things. An authentic cultivator should immerse themselves in the purple mansion, comprehend the spirit of the authentic world, refine authentic talismans, and gather the energy of the earth. Holding the power of mountains, rivers, and the 4 seas, holding the power of the earth will not be destroyed, nor will it die or perish. By using methods such as enlightening spiritual acupoints, repairing spiritual veins, building Taoist temples, and creating a blessed land, we seek the Great Way. As for this, a terrestrial vein resembling an ancient dragon emerged, enveloping the golden figure, and the chi mechanism merged with it. A vast expanse of land, condensed under the golden figure, exudes a majestic aura of black and yellow, intertwined with the rich spiritual energy of heaven and earth, creating a colorful scene. Immortal mountains rise one after another, and rivers emerge one after another, turning this land into a truly blessed land. The method of authentic cultivation is successful. P.S. 9th watch, a flower, no review tickets. I still hope everyone can support me. It feels like no one is watching, and there is no movement in the book review section. Chapter 010. Authentic Spokesperson, in the Purple Sky Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After creating the method of authentic cultivation, Lin Daoyuan came up with a question. In the midst of the vast and desolate world, the three realms of heaven, earth, and humanity need to suppress all things in the vast and desolate world. If it is not a disaster caused by the crisis of the vast and desolate world, one must not act lightly. The Heavenly Way uses Hongjun as its spokesperson to preach and plan for the future. As an authentic person, should I also find a spokesperson, you should know that managing a person is always easier than managing a group of people. If you do everything yourself, where do you have time to think about how to grow authentic? Just like business owners in their past lives, weren't they all hierarchical managers who were only responsible for controlling the overall direction? As an incarnation of the primordial Tao, I am in the same position as the heavenly Tao. If I personally come down to plan, wouldn't I admit that I am one head short of the heavenly Tao? I can only engage in battle with the opponent when the heavenly Tao personally takes action. Moreover, the news that I have become authentic is unknown in the midst of chaos, which is my greatest advantage. Hiding in the dark and restraining the heavenly way is what I should do. It seems that finding an authentic spokesperson is imperative. Lin Daoyuan believes that authentic spokespersons need to have deep connections and strong capabilities. You should know that Hongjun, the spokesperson of the Heavenly Way, is the head saint of the Honghuang era, the first person of the Honghuang era on the surface, with his strength and reputation placed there. There is no need to declare the chaos, just reveal a little meaning, and countless people will go to Zhixiao Palace one after another to seek enlightenment. The spokesperson for himself, not to mention being on par with Hongjun in terms of strength, should not be too far apart. Otherwise, the sage preaches and the quasi-sage preaches, and the discerning know where to go to listen. There are also authentic spokespersons who need to be in line with the local practices. Otherwise, if one cannot cultivate the authentic way and cannot comprehend the true meaning of the way, how can one preach? Only by achieving the highest level of enlightenment through authentic understanding can famous teachers lead sentient beings in the wilderness to understand the mysteries of authentic methods and truly discover the heavenly pride along the way. In this way, the strength of the underground cultivators can surpass that of the heavenly cultivators. With a comparison of strength, even if Hongjun talks recklessly, will the vast majority of beings still choose to practice the underground? In Lin Daoyuan's idea, there are two people who are most suitable in the current chaos. The first choice should be the ancestral witch of the Wu tribe. Houtu. The Wu tribe was originally generated by combining the essence and blood of Pangu with the turbid qi of the earth. They were born with a strong physical body and the power to control the earth's evil, making them a skilled hand in sorting out the earth's veins. And the ancestor of the earth, Wu Houtu, inherited the laws of the earth from the bloodline of Pangu. As long as he stood on the earth, he could stand invincible. The method of earth cultivation is simply tailor-made for her, incredibly fitting. In addition, the Wu ethnic group is already a top priority in Lin Daoyuan's planning. If Houtu can become an authentic spokesperson, then promoting the method of land cultivation among the Wu ethnic group will be natural. Moreover, Houtu will transform into reincarnation in the future and has the potential to become a saint, making him the first choice for Lin Daoyuan's authentic spokesperson in his heart. The other one, although not as advantageous in terms of footwork, is also very suitable for the cultivation method and has strong strength. This person is the top innate god and demon in the wilderness. Zhenyuanzi. Zhenyuanzi is formed from the essence of the congenital earth, accompanied by ginseng fruit trees, one of the 10 congenital spiritual roots, and the earth script, the earth fetal membrane, one of the 3 books of heaven, earth and man. Moreover, Buzhou Mountain, the birthplace of Zhenyuanzi, is one of the largest geological veins in the midst of the flood and wasteland, apart from the Buzhou Mountain veins. He used the Earth's fetal membrane to activate the dark yellow energy of the Earth's meridians, and the innate Earth's meridian formation he set up has an indestructible power that cannot be broken by saints. In the future, he became the ancestor of earthly immortals with his half-step mixed cultivation. Zhenyuanzi himself is an innate god and demon who comprehends the cultivation of the underworld. If he has the method of the underworld, he will surely gain wings like a tiger. It is not entirely impossible to achieve enlightenment and become a true spokesperson. Both Houtu and Zhenyuanzi are very suitable candidates, and now let's see how to deceive them. How to recruit them. After speaking, Lin Daoyuan directly spread the hidden power of the tunnel near Buzhou Mountain. Because Mount Buzhou supports the sky and connects the outer sky with the Chaos Sea, it is a necessary path to return from the Chaos Sea to the wilderness. If Houtu and Zhenyuanzi return from Zhixiao Palace, with their talents, they will inevitably be able to sense this underground power. Then Lin Daoyuan only needs to wait quietly at Buzhou Mountain. The bait has already been set, let's see when the fish will take the bait. At the same time, in the Zhixiao Palace, Hongjun sat cross-legged on a high platform cloud bed, with an invisible and ethereal Tao charm permeating his body, surrounded by countless heavenly Tao talismans and seals. The crowd below had different expressions, some closed their eyes in contemplation, some smirked and went crazy, and all the sentient beings were evident. This sermon ends here, and we need good students to study and practice diligently. The next sermon will take place 3,000 years later, and the seating arrangement will be in the order of this one and cannot be changed. If nothing happens, let's just leave. Upon hearing Hongjun announce the end of class, everyone bowed and respectfully left the Zhixiao Palace. However, there was one person standing still without moving. At this moment, Houtu suppressed the surprised gaze of the person sitting with him, mustered up courage, and came to Hongjun's body. After bowing, he spoke up and asked. Dare to ask the Taoist ancestor, the witch clan has no primordial spirit. Where exactly is our path? Although Houtu listened to the lecture of Zhixiao Palace in its entirety, as she is a member of the witch clan, she has no primordial spirit. Causing her to achieve nothing during the 3,000 years of preaching, she passed through 3,000 years in a daze. Among the witch clan, the talent of later earth are among the top. If even she cannot understand the Taoist teachings taught by Hongjun, then no one in the witch clan can comprehend the mysteries of heaven. So, that's why this question arises. Hongjun closed his eyes slightly, glanced at Houtu, and said calmly. The witches do not cultivate their primordial spirit and do not recognize the number of days. Let's take it easy. After speaking, Hongjun's body was filled with Taoist rhyme, and in an instant, he disappeared into the purple sky palace. Houtu listened to Hongjun's cold and straightforward words, feeling extremely sad in his heart. His eyes turned red, and a layer of mist covered his eyes. The emergence of Hongjun heralds the beginning of a new era, which is the era of saints. However, due to the lack of primordial gods, the Wu ethnic group cannot attain enlightenment through the Taoist teachings passed down by Hongjun, and will inevitably be eliminated by the times. Although the Wu tribe is physically strong and has few opponents in the same realm, due to the shackles of their bloodline, the strongest among the Wu tribe can only be quasi-holy cultivators. Although in the midst of the chaos, the witches are considered a major force, but with the emergence of saints, what can the witches use to counter the power of saints? At this moment, Houtu's heart was as dead as ashes, and he walked out of the purple sky palace in a state of despair. P.S. First, kneel down and beg for flowers, as well as evaluation tickets and rewards.